Bison Media Zone on WDAY Extra.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Bison Media Zone. We do it each and every Wednesday at 10:30. Joined by the Forum's Jeff Kolpak this week. We got, anytime we get Kolpak here, we got breaking news. That's a good Wednesday to get us started. How Mike gets rolling, we get news that NDSU President David Cook is a finalist for the job at Iowa State. Little background here, Jeffrey, that he's an Ames native. He graduated from Iowa State. There's a lot of connecting blocks here that may make this a lot of sense.
Yeah, one of three finalists. And, you know, it's a big deal, Dom. The president obviously is a big deal, but it's huge for athletics.
Yes.
And I will go back to the 1990s when I first started covering this program. Thomas Plow was the president, and he wanted to take the model, more of a Division III MIAC model, and have athletes be more self-funded. And then Joe Chapman comes in and then turns that upside down, takes his program Division I. Dean Brashani was a big supporter of athletics, and you see these guys on road trips. You see Dave Cook on road trips, obviously very interested in athletics. And it's a big deal. I know people go, oh, well, it's all athletics compared to no, it's not. Athletics is a PR arm. It's the front door. It really is. Joe Chapman had it right.
Yeah.
It is now a Division I institution. It's thought of as a Division I institution. It always has been academically when you look at the top 100, whatever those
absolutely.
US News Report rankings, but now athletically matches that. And so, yeah, Dave Cook being one of three is a big deal now if he takes it, which is good for him. He's an Iowa State guy. I think he played club hockey there, did he not, or something like that? And so, but if he takes that, it's a huge job and a huge decision to who takes his place.
I look at it for successful programs, specifically football programs in this country right now. The president, the AD, and the head football coach all got to be synced up there.
Craig Bohl had that right away. Right. Yes, he said that right away when he got the job. You have to have the AD, the president, and the head football coach on the same page. And if you don't have that, then you got problems.
You got LSU. When LSU's going on
when you
right
see
now.
ADs get fired and the head coach is going, I don't know how my job is going to hang here.
And I just look at that, knowing full well the rumor mill with considering the head football coach, considering there are quite a few jobs that are going to be out there and much more coming, that if the president leaves, it's a vacuum there. You know, that's something you probably don't want to, potentially there.
Potential vacuum. See Gene Taylor and Chris Kleiman.
Yes.
I mean, those guys have see eye to eye for years. And I'm guessing the K-State president is part of that trio of guys who
triumvirate, you like to say, right?
Triumvirate. Thank you. You need like-minded individuals there.
If you look at all the programs, you look at all the really good programs around the country. They're all in sync. That the president, AD, and the football coach are on the same wavelength there. Because if that's the case, you got a chance to be successful.
I saw the list of finalists when Dave Cook got the job, and I can't remember the other finalists. But I thought, okay, this is clear-cut to me.
There's one that stood out. I agree.
Because he was at Kansas. He had experience with the athletic department that was at a high level. I don't think the other two or three, whatever, were part of that. So that was a concern. If Dave Cook didn't get that job and went to somebody else, I would have been pretty concerned if I were an NDSU athletic booster.
One last thing on this. We had Dave Cook was on the sit-down this summer, and he was fully versed on NIL, fully versed on the House settlement. He knew, and you got to be, obviously, if you're in Division I athletics, but this is not a guy who deferred it to Matt Larson. He and Larson are in step on decision-making. He wanted to be clued in on, okay, what are we doing? What's our plan going forward? I don't know how many presidents are like that these days. I know Andy Armacost, same at UND. He was here, same thing on that. If you're going to be successful, you got to know what's going on.
How many presidents travel to every out-of-town football game?
That's a good question.
I don't know, but I'm just wondering because Brashani did it, Chapman did it.
It's far and few between, honestly. We cover all the games. We don't see.
I guess I don't see that, but I guess I don't know what other presidents look like.
We see a lot of presidents come like for the first time, like when they're bringing, hey, come to Fargo, like East Tennessee State did a few years ago. They brought the whole package. Incarnate Word did that to see it, but I don't think it's a common occurrence.
That was more of a fact-finding mission.
Yes,
like,
correct.
Okay, what are these guys doing, and what do we need to do to get to that level?
Here's some facts for you. North Dakota State has not played well at the Alara Center.
No.
1-3 all time since the building opened in 2001. Jeff, we talked about this on the Bison video blog on Monday. The stats bear for themselves, but this has not been a place where the Bison have gone up there and played well. It's just not. No, it hasn't. It's just fact.
It's just you laid the stat out today. They fumbled 8 times in those 4 games up there. Lost only 3 but that's a lot of times to drop the ball on the turf. 2 years ago, we all know what happened. I remember this game here where
That was the last game for the nickel.
the UND just had a pretty good defensive effort when it counted. I think that was the overtime game. But, yeah, for the old nickel. Then they went 12 years without playing, and here we go. There's Bo Belquist doing his damage.
And the game's up there, and this is, I mean, Gavin Zebarth, this was the game 2 years ago. He scored 3 rushing touchdowns. And I want to hit off of this before we move on. Polasek said that game had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with how we're going to go up there and play on Saturday. Granted, now and Logan Kopp told me this, there's only a handful of guys, Kopp was one of them, that played in that football game a couple years ago, but I got to imagine there's some
It's got to be
hangover
something
there, right?
Oh, I would think if you're the seniors on this team, I think you've had enough. Cole Payton.
Yeah.
Cole Payton
Correct.
played in this game.
He got in the end of that
quarterback.
game. Look at that last stat. 8 fumbles, 3 of them lost, 5 picks when they played up there. That they can't have any, granted, they haven't fumbled the ball at all this season. They've only thrown 3 interceptions all year. That's something that bears watching is turnovers and how this game plays out on Saturday.
Usually in big games and rivalry games, turnovers are oftentimes the deciding factor, and we've seen that there, 1 and 3.
17 points per game as well. Offense has just not been a thing. Granted, they scored 24, but that last touchdown was it was 49-17 when they scored that last touchdown.
21 was like cutting
It
teeth.
was 16 to 10. They couldn't do anything.
And they had
to
to
the
score
20s.
within the last 2 minutes to
Correct.
give a 9-point advantage. That was a Quincy Patterson run. But that offense, that game was just, I don't want to say dreadful, but you could see it from there.
You could see that there was going to be a QB change coming in the next few weeks, which exactly happened. Let's talk QBs. We always talk about Cole Payton. The guy that's maybe vying for another spot in the Walter Payton list is Jerry Kaminsky, UND's starting quarterback, who was the backup to Simon Rumfo a season ago. 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin kid that Tim Polasek actually was recruiting when he was the OC at the University of Wyoming. He's been a really, really good player for the Fighting Hawks this year.
Probably a guy who was really happy to see the coaching change,
Yes.
I think, after being there for 2 years and not playing. But you got to take into account, it's just not... He's developed, obviously. I mean, I think the word on him and the knack on him when he was a young player, freshman and redshirt freshman, was he wasn't seeing progressions. And kids develop with that. They develop with that over time. So I'm not going to sit here and say that Bubba Schweigart was at fault for not playing him, because maybe he has gotten a lot better and seen the progressions that he never saw 2 years ago.
I asked Polasek that yesterday. He said maybe, spring ball was something that came out. I think the additions they made in the portal have been really interesting. B.J. Fleming is one you saw in our highlights, a transfer wide receiver from Northern Arizona. He also can move as well. I'm really he's not Cole Payton with his legs, but he can get out there.
He's not bad either.
And the fact that they lost, obviously, Bo Belquist graduated, and what they had around him, Nate DeMontac, you saw there, number 84, has become a guy that's catching some passes. We'll get to Seidel in a minute. But the ability that he's to spread it around, I did not foresee that coming in 2025.
No, well, yeah, and same with when you lose these guys with the portal, coaching change, there's always that ambiguity. And so you always take ambiguity as negative, like, oh, okay, we don't know what's going on, so therefore I don't think it's positive. It's just human nature, I think, to think like that. Obviously, I think they've, Eric Schmidt's been in big games. He's been around.
Yes.
And let's not overlook that either. You have 2 coaches who cut their cloth a little bit.
At the highest levels.
And
yes.
went other places.
Yes.
I mean, Eric was at UND, and then he went other places. He was at Washington. He's been in big games. Yeah. Tim was in the Big Ten. He was at Wyoming. He's seen big games. So I think it's important that these guys, and they brought that mentality to their teams.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I think Schmidt, he was assistant for Washington in the national championship game at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. I mean, it didn't get any bigger than that in terms of what our sport is. And he was helping coach Washington that year. We think this game's pretty big. Washington, Michigan with J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix. It's a pretty big football game there. Now, UND's ground game is going to be hurt this weekend. Gavin Zebarth is out after he broke his collarbone a couple weeks ago against SIU. Sawyer Seidel is going to be the guy. He's electric, Jeff. He's not the biggest guy, but boy, he is fast.
He's electric, but can he hold up now being the featured back?
We're going to find out.
5'10", 175, and yes, we'll certainly find out. Always had speed. The kid, that was what he's known for, and if he gets a crease, bye-bye.
He'll take a mile, yeah.
Nice move there. Wow, that's big time.
the fact he's racked up as many touchdowns as he has. He's got 9 rushing scores, 650. He's averaged about 73 a game. I am interested, though, now moving forward, because that game at South Dakota last week, I don't know if it was an aberration or something to come of how USD played defensively against UND in that game, because that was the first time that the Coyote run defense actually held this season and kind of held UND in check in that game.
And really, first time Jerry Kaminsky had some issues
Correct.
throwing the ball with 2 interceptions. And, so what did the Coyote defense do?
Right.
And those are details, obviously, that are picked over with a fine-tooth comb.
We're not going to know anyway till Saturday. After talking with the Bison players, hearing Polisic yesterday, I got a sense that, again, this is a very focused group that knows full well what's at stake. They win Saturday, everything's wrapped up. They have the Valley Championship and a top 2 seed in their back pocket.
Yeah, not to mention the rankings reveal coming
up today.
This afternoon at 1 o'clock. Obviously, the Bison will be number 1,
Yes.
but with all the upsets that we saw last weekend, Davis getting beat, South Dakota State getting beat, UND getting beat, Tarleton getting beat. So I would imagine the Montanas move up to 2 and 3.
They'll be 2 and 3, absolutely.
Probably Montana State 2, since they were 3 before.
I would think. I don't know. It depends on, I guess, what the committee values
here. I don't know how you change
here.
it.
Right.
Nothing's changed since
Right.
the last.
All that's happened is the Cats have kept winning and the Grizz have kept winning, which points everything for that Brawl of the Wild game on that.
Who's going to be number 4?
Tarleton would be number
Tarleton.
4. I can't imagine they put Lehigh in that spot.
Even though you put Lehigh
we have
number
my
4.
poll there, but that's just where we're at. But
what do you think?
I love the Patriot League. On the Bison focus going into this game, though, tell me about that. For the guys that played a couple years ago, of taking that mindset, going on the bus and getting that game.
Well,
on
I'm always of
Saturday.
the mindset that once the game starts, it doesn't matter what happened 2 years ago, what happened last year.
How that game started 2 years ago certainly mattered, though.
Well, they
and
know.
That's the thing.
Yeah, they know what went on. But, I mean, that can't be your sole focus for motivation. I don't think so. It's one thing. I mean, I'm sure they'll put it up on the wall, that 49-24, the score. They'll show them the kickoff return for a touchdown, I suppose. But it's got to be on this team. Tim's right. I mean, what happened 2 years ago won't have a bearing. And I think what he meant by when the game starts won't have a bearing on really what goes down.
Are you writing the story on leaf blowers? Can you give us the insight?
I am writing it. No,
blower?
I'm not going to reveal my sources.
You're a great leaf blower mind, but obviously they were brought into Bison practice for the game in Brookings, and it sounds like they're doing it again.
I have the battery operated, so I don't know how loud they have the gas.
Well, we had a gas one across the street here yesterday. I could hear it in my office. It's pretty darn loud. So
I'll do the decibel level on the gas meter.
But clearly, and Cole Payton told us this, that I asked him, did it really work? And he said he talked to the training staff in the middle of the third quarter and said, hey, thanks for that.
Forever, teams have piped in noise in practice over the loudspeakers. That's a new one.
That is a new one to me. Covered this for 20 years. I haven't heard that before, but you have to know. The fans are going to be in full throat, knowing full well what's at stake. Because if they win, UND, they're right in the mix here to win a conference championship and share it with the Bison.
They're
possibly.
Right there.
Yes.
Yeah, they're right there. This is their game. And I know Eric again. He goes, you don't want to treat this as the Super Bowl or whatever, because and appropriately so. If you lose the next week, it doesn't matter. Then you're 1-1, which happened 2 years ago when they got shut out at Northern Iowa after throttling the Bison. So it's a big game, but you just can't. You
can't treat it as such.
Well, you got to be smart about it.
I'll just throw it out there as well. They still have the Jackrabbits coming up there. So if UND happens to lose this game, that becomes a must-win. Because I don't know if 7-5 is going to get them in the tournament.
I wouldn't want to sleep at night on Saturday night before the rankings.
Nope.
They've got 5 losses.
UND's been down that road before of having 7 wins and been left out of the tournament. That's why they got to win one of these last 2 home games against the Bison or the Jacks. We come back, we'll get you ready for the other games around the Valley, the updated standings. We'll ask Jeff who's going to make the tournament out of the Missouri Valley Football Conference.
Oh, boy.
That's coming up when we come back. Welcome back, everybody, here on the Bison Media Zone. This is the updated standings. We head into Week 11. The Bison, obviously, they played one more conference game than everybody else, playing that game with South Dakota with basically a 2-game lead, and that's why they can win everything if they beat UND on Saturday. Then, Jeffrey, I'll ask you, who's making the playoffs out of the Missouri Valley Football Conference?
Well, I don't know about you, but I can't wait for the Northern Iowa Murray State game this weekend to see.
Somebody's getting off the schneid there.
Somebody. You're talking playoffs. I think still, and if you're asking me about the total picture here, that I still think 6 teams are
Okay.
legitimately ready to make their case to get in, depending on what happens. I mean, if SEC thinks they'll get 4 out of 12 in the college football playoffs in the FBS level, certainly the Missouri Valley should get 5 or 6 out of 24.
Well,
the way things shake out nationwide.
When the CFP goes to 16 next year, then they'll get half.
Yeah.
So that's how it's going to work.
Let's just
in
throw half the
SEC.
team. Let's just throw half.
All right, so we went through this on Bison Game Day last week, but this is the resumes of what they have left. Illinois State has at Indiana State, at SDSU, home for SIU, okay? Youngstown, home for the Salukis, home for the Sycamores, at Northern Iowa. That's probably the easiest of the ones left. SIU has the hardest one.
No
At
question.
Youngstown, home for South Dakota, at Illinois State. And remember, they have one less Division I win.
And those are 2 road games. Youngstown's tough places,
Yep.
tough travel. Illinois State is playing better with
That's going to be a
their
huge
quarterbacks
game,
playing
yeah.
better this year.
And then South Dakota obviously has the Jacks this weekend
Yes.
and at SIU.
I'll see how South Dakota does this weekend, but I feel like they resurrected their season a little
Absolutely they
bit
did.
with the win against UND.
Absolutely. And now South Dakota State's coming in staggering after their loss to Indiana State. We don't know their quarterback situation.
Hey, if Chase Mason doesn't play on Saturday,
Yeah.
South Dakota State's in real trouble in that game because their offense is dynamically different
It's not good right now.
with a backup quarterback. And I mean less dynamic
Yes.
as far as the ability to break. There's just nothing there
There's
right
no
now.
dynamism at all with
Yeah.
their offense right now.
Undynamic.
Here's the games going on this weekend in Week 11. Obviously, the game in Grand Forks will take center stage. The game in Vermilion, as a reminder, that game's on ESPNU coming up
Oh,
on
good luck,
Saturday.
YouTube TV subscribers on that one.
Is Illinois State on upset alert after what Indiana State did last week to the Jackrabbits? They can't go in there into Terre Haute,
I don't
right?
see Indiana State doing it 2 in a row. Do you? I just don't. It's no home field advantage.
I would think SPAC's going to have their full attention for knowing what
if
happened.
they want to
there.
make the playoffs, make
They
a
have to win.
statement.
They got to win that game. The bottom right game is a playoff game. If Youngstown State loses, they're out. And we just went through SIU's resume that I think they have to run the table if they want to make the tournament.
Battle of 2 good quarterbacks, DJ Williams, SIU, and what we saw last
Brungard
week,
is fantastic.
He
Yep.
is all of it.
I'd say if ranking quarterbacks that we haven't seen Kaminsky play in person yet. It's Cole Payton 1, Brungard is 2. I would probably put DJ at 3, Rittenhouse at 4, and Bauman at 5.
Where do you put Kaminsky?
I have to see him yet. I'm going to see how he plays, but
All right.
I'm talking ones we've seen in person. That's how I'd rank him right
Good
now.
quarterback play this year. We
Yes.
never saw that coming into
I know
this
you wrote
year.
about that.
Yeah, we
Yep.
wrote about. I mean, I wrote about it. I never saw it coming into this year after losing. You see Miller leaving last
Gronowski
year,
gone.
Gronowski
Yep.
gone, and you had some unproven quarterbacks coming in. DJ Williams was hurt last year. Rittenhouse was okay
All
last
you knew was
year.
Bauman. That was it.
Kaminsky didn't play last
Right.
year, and really the one guy you thought was proven, Aiden Bauman, has really fallen below all
not
those
at a great
guys.
year, no doubt, because USD's offense has been so anemic. Reminder, we will have the football game for you on Saturday. Bison Game Day gets us started at 10 a.m. from inside the Alerus Center, and then we'll hit the air at 12:50 for North Dakota State and UND, round 118 inside the Alerus. It'll be rocking. We can't wait to bring it to you on Saturday. Really interested to see how this game starts. Obviously, we saw in 2023, that could be to determine who wins the football game.
The kickoff return?
Yeah,
You think
just-
first quarter?
I'm just saying.
Nah, I'm not going there.
Let's just see how the game starts and how this could play out. We thank Jeff for being here. We'll see him on Saturday. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us this week on the Bison Media Zone. We are back next Wednesday. We'll be in the heart of basketball as well to get you ready for that. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.